Thank you very much, Carl. Art, good to see you. You're looking terrific. Spring's here. You're raring to go. You got your vaccine. How are you feeling these days?
I'm dying to get out and marinate some ice cubes.
All right. We're going to do that very soon. So Powell's going to be speaking, and there seems to be endless anxiety around Powell. He's already said they're going to keep rates low for a long time. They're not going to taper for a long time. Nobody seems to believe him. What does Powell have to do today to convince people that it's a long way off all these anxieties, or is it?
No, I think what he's got to do is people believe what he said, that the Fed has no interest in raising rates. However, some of the data coming in seem to indicate that inflation might be moving a little bit more aggressively than the Fed had thought. So that raised the idea, has the Fed lost control of the yield curve? Is the Fed somehow indifferent to what's going on? So, and the important thing for the viewers there, Bob, is it doesn't matter whether they lost control or not. If the market believes they lost control, that's just as dangerous and damning. So what I think what he's got to try and do today is state that, yes, we're aware that some inflationary aspects look stronger than they had. Probably he should cite things like the prices paid yesterday, the highest in a number of years. Say, yes, we're aware of that. That's still within our picture. We know where these things are going on. And then maybe even get into discussing Operation Twist, which would say that the Fed realizes that the yield curve is a little bit out of shape and that it is going to change its operation in the maturity date of what it buys to try and get that yield curve in better shape. I think that will reassure the market. I don't think you can definitely have a magic wand, but I think those things, if he can convey that, yes, we're on top of the game, we're still in control, and we're going to maintain that control, that will reassure the market. And that really, that doubt, that anxiety is what caused these market temper tantrums in both stocks and bonds.
Yeah. So where does this leave the markets? Are we at some kind of inflection points? I mean, the good news is the reopening narrative is intact. The vaccine is expanding. The stimulus is coming. The reopening story is here. Yet stocks have stalled out on just modest moves up in interest rates, particularly the big mega cap stocks. So are we at the situation where the good news is the reopening is here. The bad news is the market's going to have a hard time moving forward from here. What do you see with stocks in the next few months?
Well, the good news is the reopening is here, and that's part of traders having doubts about the reopening. Will the economy suddenly flare up instead of coming along slightly? If it does, will that put major new inflationary pressure on prices? Will diminish? I mean, we're seeing in the housing market, lumber is at record highs, copper is moving up. So traders look at that a little bit warily and say, okay, I know it's not out of control, but what is the Fed doing? So your point about the reopening narrative is beginning to play out. Yes, the economy looks like it's beginning to grow. You've got some people with estimates of 5, 6, or even 7% growth. That's super. But if it comes at the cost of much higher prices, forcing the Fed to act, that's something the market's not ready for. So it's just how much medicine is good enough. That's what we're worried about. And that's where Powell can be very helpful. If he assess some of those things, we're glad to see the reopenings playing out, the vaccines, the immunity, but we'll remain aware not to let the resurgence get out of shape and forcing us to raise rates too much.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.